Las Vegas. 1978. The mirage hums with sound laughter. Coins. The mechanical sigh of slot machines. At the roulette table, beneath the glare of chandelier light, two men appear calm. Too calm. One of them, Eudaemons Farmer, adjusts his cuff. Inside the hem of his left shoe, a wire brushes skin. He taps, once, twice. Across the table, Norman Packard nods subtly, pretending to sip his drink. The croupier releases the ball, a flash of white spinning inside a chrome halo. For the crowd, this is random motion, pure luck. For them, it's a dataset. Friction, velocity, angle, everything measurable, everything predictable. A coded tone hums faintly in Packard's earpiece, two short beeps, one long. His heartbeat aligns with the rhythm. He slides a modest stack of chips to a numbered pocket on the layout. The wheel slows. A murmur ripples. The ball drops. Exactly where the equation said it would. Dealer calls 17, black. The table erupts. Packard doesn't smile. Farmer lowers his eyes. To celebrate would be to confess. Because the truth is, they've brought a computer into the most heavily watched casino city on Earth. A secret built into a shoe. And tonight, for a few seconds at a time, they are bending the laws of chance itself. How did two graduate physicists come to believe they could outsmart randomness and nearly get away with it? 3 years earlier, far from the neon glow of Vegas, the hum was different. In a basement lab at UC Santa Cruz, oscilloscopes blinked beside stacks of coffee-stained notebooks. Eudaemons Farmer was a restless mind, fascinated by systems, by order hidden beneath chaos. Norman Packard was his counterpart, calm, mathematical, patient with impossibilities. Both were obsessed with a single question that haunted physicists since Newton. If everything in nature obeys physical laws, then is anything truly random? Roulette became their test subject. The perfect paradox. Simple rules, infinite outcomes. They spent nights timing spins with stopwatches, sketching graphs of deceleration curves. They noticed subtle flaws, the way each wheel leaned, how the ball always kissed a certain pocket first. Tiny biases, invisible to gamblers, but clear to scientists. Soon they had proof. Roulette wasn't pure chance. It was a mechanical system, and like all systems, it could be modeled. To test their theory, they formed a secret collective eudaimonic enterprises, named after Aristotle's concept of eudaimonia, human flourishing through reason. Their project wasn't about greed. It was a philosophical rebellion. If they could predict the fall of a roulette ball, they could prove that the universe, even in its chaos, was deterministic. The prototype was crude: a wire in a shoe, a microcircuit in a vest, an earpiece whispering musical tones. Each player had a role. The timer tapped rhythmically to record the wheel's motion. The bettor received tones corresponding to sectors of probability. Testing it was dangerous. Sparks burned through socks. One night, a voltage spike left Farmer half paralyzed for minutes. Another time, the device shorted in a casino restroom, filling the air with the smell of burnt plastic and panic. But when it worked, it was poetry. Against the spinning blur of the wheel, mathematics whispered a prediction. And for a brief moment, certainty existed inside chaos. Their success wasn't about money. It was about proof. The proof that chance itself could be seen, measured, and conquered one spin at a time. The Eudaemons planned their campaign like a covert operation. Before each trip, they ran drills, practicing taps, timing rotations, memorizing wheel patterns. Every movement rehearsed until it looked casual. They entered casinos in pairs, dressed like harmless grad students on vacation. No watches, no calculators, no clues. Only confidence and a secret frequency humming under their clothes. The first nights were failures. Static interference, garbled tones, sweat-corroded solder joints. During one early test in Reno, the earphone caught a burst of feedback so loud it almost gave them away. Packard froze, chips in hand, pretending to sneeze while the signal died. They retreated to their motel room, rewired, recalibrated, tried again. By late 1978, they'd perfected it. The system gave them roughly a 20% predictive advantage, small, but statistically devastating over time. Their method was simple, yet revolutionary. The timer measured the angular velocity of the wheel and ball using rhythmic taps. A hidden processor performed rapid calculations. The bettor received coded tones guiding him to the high-probability sector, usually 8 adjacent numbers. It wasn't cheating in the traditional sense. It was applied physics, elegant, quiet, invisible. And it worked. Spin after spin, their modest bets kept landing near the predicted pockets. They didn't chase jackpots, they aimed for statistical consistency. $20 here, $50 there, eventually totaling around $10,000, spread over multiple sessions and cities. But success brings attention. Dealers noticed their synchronization. Security cameras caught repetitive toe movements. One pit boss reportedly muttered, "They move like they're playing an instrument." In a place that fears patterns more than anything, pattern itself became suspicion. One night at the Golden Nugget, their luck cracked. A static pulse delayed the tone by half a second. Packard placed his bet too late. The ball fell elsewhere. Security glanced over too long, too curious. Farmer whispered, "Walk." They left calmly, jackets buttoned, hearts pounding. Outside, the desert air felt like freedom and exile combined. Back in Santa Cruz, the group convened one last time. They tallied the data, ran their final simulations, and dismantled the device. No more casinos. No more experiments. They had proven their thesis. The game could be beaten not by luck, but by physics. What they didn't know was that their quiet triumph had reached the ears of the Nevada Gaming Commission, and that the commission was already debating a law that would one day outlaw exactly what they had just done. There was no courtroom showdown. No lawyers. No flashing cameras. Only questions whispered in the corridors of gaming law. In early 1979, regulators began to ask, if a player uses a computer to predict a game's outcome, is that cheating? At the time, Nevada law only prohibited mechanical interference magnets, rigged wheels, false dice. The Eudaemons had touched nothing but their own shoes. They had observed, calculated, and bet. The commission consulted engineers, mathematicians, even casino manufacturers. Opinions divided sharply. Some said it was just clever observation akin to counting cards in blackjack. Others warned it was the first breach in the armor of chance, a threat to the entire casino industry. Farmer and Packard were never summoned, never charged. But their names appeared quietly on internal blacklists distributed to pit bosses across Las Vegas. Whenever they entered a casino, eyes followed. Publicly, the team disbanded. Privately, their work continued in the form of academic papers, chaos research, and later, predictive modeling. In 1985, journalist Thomas Bass published The Eudaemonic Pie, chronicling their entire journey. The revelation shocked readers not because of the money, but because of the method. A wearable computer in 1978, a concept decades ahead of its time. Legal scholars analyzed the case, debating its ethical implications. In 1985, Nevada revised its laws, explicitly banning the use of devices to assist in predicting game outcomes. Section 465.075 now states, "It is unlawful for any person to use, or possess with the intent to use, any device to assist in projecting the outcome of a game, or analyzing the probability of an event." It was an invisible trial, with a silent verdict. The Eudaemons were never arrested, never charged, but the world they changed rewrote its laws to make sure no one could repeat their experiment. Verdict by history. No criminal charges were filed. Their actions remained technically legal at the time. The legacy irreversible. They had not broken the law. They had inspired one. Time scattered the Eudaemons, but the echo of their question never faded. Is chance truly random, or merely misunderstood? J. Doyne Farmer moved into chaos theory, modeling the unpredictable weather, economies, epidemics, searching for the same patterns that once danced on a roulette wheel. Norman Packard ventured into artificial life and complex systems, exploring how order emerges from randomness. Their once clandestine shoe computer now rests in museums and labs, labeled the world's first wearable computer. For them, it was never about beating the casino. It was about exposing a truth, that randomness is not a wall, it's a curtain. Pull it back, and the machinery of the universe begins to show. Casinos would forever fear technology after them. Gaming surveillance doubled. Device bans expanded. Every toe tap, every whisper became suspect. But beyond Las Vegas, their influence spread quietly into science and technology. The very same principles they proved now drive machine learning, predictive analytics, and AI systems tools that calculate risk, forecast markets, and model pandemics. In later years, Farmer remarked in an interview, "We weren't gamblers, we were explorers. The wheel was our laboratory." The irony remains poetic. The men who cheated luck ended up helping humanity predict its own future, not at the table, but in the equations that define it. Today, when a smartwatch tracks your heartbeat or an algorithm forecasts a storm, you are living in the shadow of the Eudaemons experiment. They didn't just test a theory, they rewired how we understand uncertainty. And if you listen closely, beneath the noise of the modern world, you can still hear it. The faint double tap of a shoe, counting seconds before the universe reveals its next number. They didn't cheat the game, they exposed the illusion of chance.